Hey Karu, this is a hastily prepared video at the end of the day on Halloween.
Oh, yeah, happy Halloween.
Yes. And so today we started the day with a full Welsh breakfast at our bed and breakfast inn slash place with loud music the night before. And then we went to this church, like, I don't know, quarter mile down the road. And this is a medieval church called, what's it called, Sarah?
Llan de Vesant.
Llandavesant. And these are places which I've had on the map for years. And this church sits on the edge of an escarpment, on the bottom of an escarpment, in the floodplain, on the edge of the floodplain. And the floodplain in front of it supposedly has a Roman fort, or the remains of a Roman fort.
It's probably not even the remains because it basically is impossible to tell exactly where the fort
Yes.
was. But we walked out in this field anyway.
That's right. And so we could check it off the map as we have now visited both the 13th century church and the remains of the Roman fort, even though there really wasn't much to see out there. If this comes up in something Sarah's writing, or then we've got it.
That's right.
If
we
we
have
want to
a
make a
Roman
video
fort
about
here.
it.
Well, and
Yeah.
yep.
But then it started actually raining pretty hard on us while we're out here. We didn't bring our rain gear because we're brilliant.
Because if you don't bring it, you'll definitely need it.
And then we decided, because it was raining, we'd walk a longer, more exposed route back to the car, which we did. And then eventually we headed down the road just about 10 miles, not even that, 10 minutes,
Yeah.
to Dresselen Castle, which you see here with a bank-full, turbid river and a swan floating by. So Dresselen, I'm sure you remember, Carew, that in 2012 we
Sure,
went
you
to
remember
Dresselen
this. Yes.
Castle. We haven't been there since 2014.
Also in the rain?
I don't know, but it was the one with all the sheep crap everywhere that we kept commenting on.
Yep.
But we climbed up the castle, and I took a bunch of footage, and I tried to get some drone footage, but the wind was strong enough. I kept getting high wind warnings, and so you'll see some drone shots here, but they're pretty weak.
Yeah, that was really blowing, and what we basically had all day were squalls.
Yes.
They would come through, maybe even every 15 minutes or so, and you'd get
every
five
half hour. Every
you'd
half
get
hour.
5-10 minutes of rain, pretty hard.
Yeah.
And then it would clear up. We even got blue sky, and then it would rain again, and then it would rain again, and then it would rain again. And we kept switching coats, getting wet, forgetting the coat.
Yes.
Oh, it won't rain again.
Yeah.
And it would always rain again.
But we really love this castle, actually, and like I said, it's the first time we've been. It's been like 10 years since we've been there, and it was fun to be there. And there was a lady walking her dog, and she spoke Welsh, and Sarah got to have a nice
Little chat with her.
conversation in Welsh. From here, we went to St. Fagans, which is the National Welsh Historic Museum. And it's sort of a living museum where they've rebuilt structures from all different times and places throughout Wales. And the reason we went there specifically was to see something called Llys Llywelyn, which is a reconstruction of a llys on Anglesey, right across from Carnarvon, which was a palace of the Welsh princes. And it's actually Llys Rhosyr is the correct one. So we went to see, they had just started building this
In
at
2017.
St. Fagans when we were there in 2017, and they finished it, obviously more than 5 years ago. So we went to actually see it. Here you're actually getting to see reconstruction of part of the wall. But the more we looked at it, the more we realized that it kind of, it's not what Sarah thinks it should be.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I mean, both the descriptions of it, in terms of like the documentation or like if you see signs or whatever, were really sparse. Didn't explain anything, and then, it's like the hall is too high, too highly pitched. It's weird. And then the wall, the defensive wall, it really didn't have a defensive
Yeah.
wall. So yeah, so
Anyway.
we basically whined the whole time we were there.
But then we went to this place, which is the old bishop's palace. It actually was a small castle with a dungeon.
Yeah, when the bishop of Shandaf is this place, basically wanted to be a lord instead of a bishop.
Well, he was the bishop at St. David's, wasn't he, as well?
Yeah, so he had all of these palaces built that were like defensive fortresses that were effectively castles, but they were palaces because they belonged to him
Yes.
instead of
By the
to a
way,
king.
those doors that Sarah is moving, they're at least 600 years old, possibly original from the
13th century.
13th century.
Just hanging out there
Which
in the
was-
public. Yeah, that was cool.
Pretty cool. Anyway, actually, this old bishop's palace castle was really cool. It also happens to be located right next to a cathedral and a holy well, which is kind of how we ended the day. And we'll talk about all that in a little bit, but I did want to talk about how it was really interesting when we went to St. Fagans and we felt like everything there, I mean, and it's not really fair because we've been to like mills, we've been to palaces, we've been to working reconstructed, medieval villages, we've been to all kinds of these other things that are scattered throughout Wales. And St. Fagans has this poor kind of superficial facsimile of all those things. And I realized that it's an easy place to take kids, but it also just felt like trying to be everything to everyone and just was kind of disappointing.
Falling short on
Falling short.
on all those on everything that it was trying to be.
Yes.
So Shandaf is a matter of a mile and a half up the road or something.
Well, it was 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10-minute
through
drive.
Cardiff traffic to get there.
And then here you have this magnificent cathedral and the bishop's palace, which was built in the 13th century, and a healing well from the 6th century,
Yeah.
all in one spot.
So this was founded as a church by Saint
Tela.
Taylor. Taylor. It's Eilo. Yeah, and his supposedly there's all kinds of what do you call them, effigies of various people here. If you were rich, you could get your effigy in a cathedral, and so you see a lot of those. Oh, that's a
6th century Celtic cross
Yes.
from the original church. So this church was actually originally started by Saint Taylor in the 6th century, and then it's obviously been rebuilt over and over again.
that woman there. It said that she was the wife of the man who defended.
Shandaf and the bishop's palace from Owain Glyndŵr, the rebellion
No,
of
not Owain Glyndŵr. Owain Gwynedd.
Owain Gwynedd.
Owain Gwynedd, I thought.
Oh.
Yes.
That could be.
Maybe I'll have to look at the sign again. Maybe I have that wrong. Anyway, it's interesting. This is who was that guy? The founder of the cathedral or something?
He's buried up there at
The
the
guy
front.
buried up there, you're going to see a close up of him, is the bishop who was who's literally the every caricature of an evil church
Yes.
person that you've seen. That was this guy.
That was this guy.
That was this guy.
And he built the palace in the first place.
This is Saint Taylor's
Tomb.
effigy here.
Oh, and his head. That's right.
I've got a little clip of the box that we believe his head is in based on the description.
Yeah, his
So
skull
that
is
would
in
be
there.
it right there. His skull should be in there. And we ended the day leaving here and just going up the road, and this is a holy well. And it was actually really gratifying to find this because it was on my map.
Yeah, Dan got to check him off.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.